How's it going, YouTube? As always, God bless you and thank you for being here. I'm Gage and this is Candy Coral Aquatics. If you're new, please hit the subscription button and tap the notification bell because you just found the only place you ever have to be to have all your reefing questions answered. If you're not new and you're already a subscriber, I just want to say thank you very much for coming back to watch more Candy Coral Aquatics. I just want to give a couple of shout outs. Over the last couple of days, I have noticed 2 to 3 new subscribers to the channel, which is obviously very awesome. So I hope that you'll be joining us soon here on Candy Coral Aquatics, and thank you for subscribing. I also want to give a shout out to all the other subscribers out there that have been coming back for a long time. You guys are the reasons why I make these videos, so obviously much love and appreciation to you as well. Today's topic of discussion is actually going to be a subscriber choice. Some of you out there want to know exactly what is it that I'm running on my 60-gallon cube to achieve the results that I have thus far. So a couple of disclaimers. First thing is, if you guys go out and buy the exact same equipment that I have, that's awesome. I know it's going to be good equipment, but don't expect to have a really great reef tank because of it. There's a lot more that goes into having a nice reef tank than just the equipment and the tank. The second thing is, I will not be telling you how much the equipment costs in today's video. So if you do want to know how much it is I've spent thus far to keep this tank up and running, I'll be more than happy to share that in another video, but it will have to be another video. So without further ado, let's get started. So my tank is a 60-gallon cube. It measures 2 foot by 2 foot by 2 foot. It does not take up a lot of space, yet it gives you just the right amount of depth and width to be able to aquascape it in various different ways and to add a lot of coral and some really neat fish. As far as my filtration goes, I have 3 main types of filtration on my 60-gallon tank. The first one is a Fluval 307 canister filter. The second one is a eShop 75 protein skimmer. And then the third source of filtration that some of you might not even think is filtration is water changes. So let's break them down individually and then we'll move on to how I create the flow in the tank. So for the first form of filtration, the canister filter, it is a Fluval 307 canister filter. It has, let's see here, 6 different sponges in there for mechanical filtration. It has 3 different trays in there. One tray contains sponges. The second tray contains bio pellets to help bacterial growth. And then the third tray contains all of my media, like my carbon, my Fosguard, my PureGen, all that kind of stuff. Okay, so every single Saturday is tank maintenance day for me. So I will break out the canister filter. I will rinse out all the sponges. I'll clean up whatever needs to be cleaned up inside of it, and I'll replace my media. Excuse me. And then the eShop's 75 protein skimmer, it also gets cleaned on Saturday. I'll take the cup off. I'll, scrub out all that skim mate, get it nice and clean, put it back. And then I will be doing a 10 to a 15 gallon water change also on Saturdays. So there's my 3 main forms of filtration. For those of you that do not consider water changes filtration, I really highly suggest that you start using water changes. They're very beneficial for a lot of reasons. So number one, when you're doing a water change, you're actually removing the nutrients 100% at that time, which is why they're extremely beneficial. You're also replacing things like, calcium, magnesium, alkalinity, minor and major trace elements. So there's a lot of really nice things to be said about a water change. If you don't do a lot of water changes, that's the number one thing that I'm going to recommend you do first off, is a lot of water changes. I promise you, it's really interesting to see. As soon as you do a water change and you get that really good fresh water in there, it's amazing how much your corals just perk up. It sounds strange, but I challenge you, do it. Look at your corals right now and then do a really good water change and then look at them afterwards. You'll be surprised at the differences, because there are differences. That being said, you have to use a really good quality salt when you are doing your water changes. Now, there's a ton of different salts out there. I use the Red Sea brand. It doesn't mean that's what you have to use. That's just the salt that I choose, okay? So now let's talk about the flow that I have inside of my tank. What am I using to actually create the flow for my corals and my fish? I decided to go with an MP10 Vortec Quiet Drive by Ecotech Marine. I know it's a mouthful, so I'll repeat it. It is an MP10 Vortec Quiet Drive by Ecotech Marine. It is wireless capable, which means you can hook it up to a reef link if you want. But what's really nice about this pump is In my 60-gallon cube, I only need one to create more than enough flow for everything that I have, and it actually comes preset with a bunch of different flow options and patterns, so you can change up the flow at any time. And what's really cool about this is because there's various modes in it, you can set it to a mode and walk away, and as the day progresses, your flow will change up automatically for you. Especially if you kind of link it up with one of those reef links, you can have multiple different modes going in a day. I do not use a reef link. I do have one, but I haven't set it up because as of right now, I don't really feel the need to. I think that it does just fine on its own. There's a lot of different presets in there, and I think right now I'm using the Reef Crest random mode, which means over the course of several hours throughout the day, like all day, it'll actually change flow type, duration, and intensity, which is really good because you don't want just straight laminar flow in your reef tank. It's actually not good for your corals. So you do want to have some type of a power head that's going to create randomized flow and give you a bunch of different options to allow you to provide something for all of your corals. So again, that was the MP10 Vortec Quiet Drive by Ecotech Marine. As far as my heater is concerned, there's really nothing fancy to be said about that. Truth be told, I don't even remember the brand, and I don't really think it's important. Just make sure that whatever heater you choose is going to give you good constant temperatures. I really should go out and buy myself a digital thermometer so that way I can keep track of my tank's temperature at all times. That really is very important, and it's one thing that I actually tell you guys to do that I don't do myself. So, I guess do as I say, not as I do. I really do need to go out and get a digital temperature or digital thermometer so I can keep track of my temperature. But, don't worry too much about heaters. Just get yourself a good brand name heater. I think BRS TV, Bulk Reef Supply, if you guys YouTube them, they actually did a series on heaters, and it's really good information, and it might actually help you pick out the heater that's right for you. Going on to my lights, what do I use for lights? Well, the nice thing about having a 60-gallon cube that's 2 foot by 2 foot is pretty much all your commercialized lighting options out there illuminate a 2 foot by 2 foot area. So I only ever have to have one light of whatever it is that I choose on my tank for it to be more than enough for any kind of coral that I want to grow. But the light that I decided to go with is the Hydra 26 HD by AI. It is fully customizable. There is an app for both Apple users and Android users. You can put it on your phone or your tablet, and it gives you a complete customization of your spectrum, your lighting intensity, the time of day, lunar phases, thunderstorms. You can control intensities. I mean, everything that you want to control, this app and this light is capable of doing that. When you go out and you purchase a light is one of the main things that you have to have on your tank, obviously, besides filtration, because the light is what actually gives life to all of your corals. So when you're going out and you're buying a light, make sure that, the first light you buy is the only light you have to buy. I know some of us like to try to save money and buy a cheaper light thinking that you're going to upgrade later, but believe me when I tell you, when you do that, you're actually wasting money, because as your experience grows in this hobby and as you get more adventurous and you want to grow different coral, you're going to have to go out and buy a stronger light. So just get the stronger light now and get a light that's going to allow you to customize it just like the Hydra 26 HD by AI allows you to do. That's pretty much going to wrap it up. I don't really have any other equipment on the tank, so we've covered filtration, we've covered flow, we've covered heating, and we've covered lighting. There's really not much more to be said about having a reef tank. Just make sure that your husbandry practices are good, meaning every single week at some particular time, it doesn't matter when, whatever fits your schedule, that you're cleaning your tank, you're cleaning out your filtration system, you're doing your water changes, and you're making sure that everything looks good. If your corals look happy and your fish look healthy and you're seeing growth and coloration and polyp extension, don't touch anything. Just keep up with your filter changes, keep up with your water changes, and just let everything be. Corals and fish are highly adaptable to a multitude of different things. Just make sure you're providing them with the best, cleanest environment that you can by doing your research and doing your husbandry and making sure that stuff is as clean as you can get it. And I promise you, you're going to have a really nice reef tank. That's going to be it for today's video, guys. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below, and we'll be back soon with more Candy Coral Aquatics. Take care and God bless.